Well, it's time to work on shit truck again, so let's get started. This is looking pretty nasty, so we're gonna wire brush that and paint it. This is actually the fuel pump plate here. You put the rod in there and put this here, and then you put your fuel pump on. But this is gross, so we're gonna clean it up. We have here a Vortec head. I've checked it for cracks and it seems to be good, so we're going to attempt to use this. So we're going to have to take out all these valve springs and drop the valves, obviously, clean them up, clean out the ports and degrease and everything like that. So first things first, we got to get these valves out of here. You might have to hold the valve, honestly. You might have to force it like I just did. But it locks into place, and then you can just take your little valve locks off. Throw them in a cup because I have new locks, and we actually have new springs for this too. And then let up. And there we go, there's our spring, our keeper. It's also important to note that since I'm reusing the valves in these, we keep them in exactly the holes that they came out of. So I have my piece of cardboard here. We're going to put the retainer there, which I don't know if that matters or not, but we're going to keep each valve in exactly the order that we took it out. And we're going to assume that this is the area with the studs coming off of the head. That way we're sure we put them back in exactly the same spot. Let's see if your valve will come right out. Seems so. Pretty nasty exhaust valve. We'll clean that up pretty nicely. Yikes. Those valve seals are pretty stuck. Not gonna lie. Okay, intake valve, not as bad. A little bit of a ring there, or a ridge, but that'll clean up nicely. And actually the seating area here looks pretty decent too, so not a bad head, I would say. Kind of hard to see, but the seats on all of these are actually pretty good too. So that's relieving. We'll just kind of wire brush them up and be done. Well, we got quite an amount of soot out of the chambers here. And so now we can finish cleaning up all the rest of this. Soaking the valves one cylinder at a time in some seafoam, and then we'll kind of clean them up from there. We've got good news and bad news. The good news is it doesn't matter. The bad news is that I've lost my appropriately sized little suction cup tool to lap the valves with. But like I said, it doesn't matter. I have here butyl tape. And we're basically going to not need an appropriately sized suction cup, because we can just do that and do our valves that way. Give us a liberal amount of valve lapping compound here and spread it around. And then on goes our valve. And then it's basically just making a little Indian fire, you know, until it stops making noise. So you can hear that it's gotten pretty smooth sounding. Then you pick it up, rotate it, and start again and do it over and over and over and over again, which I won't bore you with. We're going to get all these done, and we'll come back when they're done. And reassembly is just as easy as disassembly. You basically just press down on the tool here, being sure you're not scraping your valve, and then kind of gently push down until it's compressed. Again, this tool will lock in place. You can push your valve up from the bottom if it's gone down a little bit. I have found that using a screwdriver to kind of push this in a position makes it easier for you to get the valve locks in, and then the valve locks just really slide in there pretty easily. So I had a problem with the other head. I have these valve seals. They're meant for a regular small block Chevy engine, not Vortex. They're umbrella seals, and I had a problem with it wanting to move with a valve. And that was on the other head. On this head, specifically, I was wondering why is it not an issue? Well, the old valve seals are still on there, you stupid idiot. That's why they're snug, because you're putting them over the existing valve seals. And that's just going to tear them up when you run the engine. If you can't tell, it's not supposed to do that. But yeah, that's my bad. So we're waiting on a new one of these and the actual install pump tool thing that you put. They make a tool to put this in, basically, and we're waiting on that. Because otherwise this would just hang down on the oil pan. It'd probably leak around here and suck a bunch of air up in there. We don't want that, so. Alright. Okay. And if I recall correctly, these are a really weird size, like 1/2 inch. That's the Vortex for you. This was a leftover head bolt set from a Vortex build that I guess my brother didn't use, and so I am happily using them. Alright, that should be good to go. Now we get all these lifters in here, and push rods and rockers, and then we can put the intake on. What's up, bud? That's not how it works, buddy. That thing's not going to keep you cool that way. Well, I forgot that Vortex intakes are in fact different from small block Chevy pre-86 ones, so now we have to wait for gaskets for this too. I'm waiting on the nuts for these, because I can't find them. So we're waiting on nuts, gaskets, the oil pump screen, and the tool to put that on. Let's call it a day, I guess. So yeah, that's about all we're gonna do today. God, it's bright. The next video after I get that oil pump tube in there with the tool should just be, well, throwing it in the truck. We do need to do the clutch, so we'll probably do that as well. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed seeing progress on this truck, and maybe next video we'll drive the thing. So as usual, you be good while I'm gone. I'll see you next time. Have a good week.